Hey guys, welcome back to Hari's Academy. Till last lecture we have learned about how to set up billing and budget for our account, right? So this would help us to ensure like we are not overspending anything on AWS services while learning it. So now we are going to learn our first AWS service, which is IAM, and which is a very important topic. I'll tell you multiple times this because this is a hard and core of security in AWS, right? So what is IAM and what are these features, what are the examples or what are the use cases which we are going to see? Everything will be covered today. Okay, so this is the agenda for our session today. So let's learn about IAM. IAM is also called as Identity and Access Management. So this is because the AWS is a public cloud, the services are available to everyone, and only thing we have to use is we have to create users, give proper permissions to them, and then see how much access is given to them. Based on that, everything, all the security depends on this particular main important service, which is IAM, right? We are going to learn about introduction to IAM, the features of it, how to access it, and what are the permissions and policies which we are going to give, and different options like groups, users and roles. So let's not waste a single minute, and then we'll go to IAM directly into the website itself. So now I have logged into console.aws.amazon.com, which is the website from where you can use AWS services. I have created a free trial account earlier and I've logged into my account. Now you can see there are a few things which I wanted to show you before I go to IAM. This is called as management console, and you can see on top right we have the different locations here, correct? Mumbai and other locations. You can see you can select any location and any region here based on your requirement, right? Why I'm talking about this region, we'll come to know more in detail. Now if I want to go and search for a service, I can do it right away by going to find services in the main page itself, and I can search in IAM if I know the policy name here, right? So I can go directly to IAM and click on this. This is one way to access. There is another way to access it. I can go to directly services, and you can see tons of services here, right? Almost 150 or 200 plus services we have it in AWS, and see it starts from compute and different options we have. Right now IAM, I need to search it if I don't know, otherwise I can directly type in the value here, IAM. This is the best practice to search for a service. I'll click on this IAM. Now in this IAM management console, you will see different options on the left hand side. Whenever you select a service in AWS, on the left hand side you can see all those options related to that particular service, whatever we are going to use it here, right? So you can see it says welcome to Identity and Access Management. It already says it has some users, groups and roles, which we are going to learn in more detail, why it is required and what is the pros and cons of it. And you can see different options in the left hand side, which is groups, users, roles, policies, whatnot. There are so many other things here, right? Now in IAM, you would have seen whenever we logged into our console.aws.amazon.com, you would have seen a root user and then IAM user. Those two options you would have seen. I will show it to you once again here. I'll log out of my account first, and then I'll show you how it looks like when I'm trying to log into that particular console. When I go and click on log back in, okay, this in the last lecture we have discussed, like we are logging in without root user login, right? Sign in. I'll go and click on sign in to a different account. Now you can see there are two different options here. One is root user and another one is an IAM user, right? So what is a root user? We have used an account, we have used an email ID to create an account in AWS, right? That is the account which is a root account, which should be used only for billing purpose and only for creation of your initial account. This is the account which you have used to create your initial account, and this is the account which has your credit card details as well. So that is the reason it is very important for you to understand that this account should not be used for any other purpose other than these two, okay? And this is very important in the security point of view. So quickly what we can do, we can create an admin account which will have all the privileges except for billing, right? So that way we are ensuring that our credentials and everything is taken care or safe, right? This is first step to it. So now I will log into this user for now. Right, so let me log into this root account. Now you can see I'll go to IAM again. I can search it from here as well, right? I can go to IAM, and in the account I can see there are few important security status for that particular user. So now I logged in as a root user. You can see the name here. This is the root user name. Okay, we'll see the how IAM user will look like and all, right? So that is one thing. So this is used to authenticate myself that I am a regular and valid user and I can access these resources or services in AWS, right? So as this is a root account, I cannot use this account for my other purposes other than building and creating an initial account in AWS. So what I am trying to do, I am going to users are like individual entities which can access particular resources based on the permissions given to it. So every user should have a permission, like suppose you are an employee of some company, so you have to enter into that premises. You will be given an identity card which will be used to swipe in and then get into that particular area, correct? Not everyone can enter into that particular premises until unless they are authorized to do it, right? So that is the identity card which is given to you. The same way it works for every school or college, anywhere you can go. So this is something like an identity for you to show that yeah, you are a right user and you can enter into this premises and then use few of the services based on the access given to you. So some companies might have access to few areas and not to every location. Like suppose IT services might not be accessible to everyone but the people who are working in IT, correct? So that way there can be some restrictions to each and every user based on their level of work and whatever the work responsibilities are given to them, right? Similarly, we are also going to create an admin account to our user. So it's already created earlier. I'll just delete this and then I'll show it to you how to create a new user. Okay, now so this is what, like, what we create a user first and then we give some permissions to it, right? And then we'll see how we can log into that particular IAM user rather than logging in with our root account. Now I'll go to add user. I'll just create some username as admin user. Okay, and I can see there are two different access type here. One is programmatic access and one is management console access. I have already shown you this is called as management console, from where you can access. This is a GUI for your particular AWS resources. So instead of this, if you are good at command line interface programming, you can go to CLI and then start doing all those things which you can do it from management console as well. So this is an easier way. Management console, if you don't have any programming knowledge, you can go and directly use the services based on from management console. If you are good at programming, you can go to CLI access. I am good at both, so I am going to have both. Okay, and here you can auto generate a password or you can create a custom password here. So there are a few guidelines which has to be followed whenever you are trying to give an access to an user. Okay, that is, you either give an auto generated password and ask the user to create a password in the next sign in, right? This is very important. If you want to give access to anyone, you can give a auto generated password and ask them to reset it the moment they receive the credentials, so that they can have their own credentials and then it will not be misused by anyone, right? So I'll keep it as it is and then I'll go to permissions, right? So for now I'll do one thing. I'll create a custom password because I remember one password. I'll give it to that. I have given one password to it. I'll not check this button for now. This is for other people, so I am creating an account for myself, so I know what password I have to use right now. So I am not going to select this checkbox. Now I'll go to permissions and then I can search for any permissions here. You can see there are three different options here to get the permissions. So permissions are nothing but what? They are policies. They are written in JSON. JSON is JavaScript notification. So it is written in that particular language. You need not know JSON, but if you know it, will be an added advantage for sure. it is a simple language which we can understand how it is written and all. We can understand. We are going to learn more in detail of how a policy will look like as well, right? So you can add users to the group. So you can create a group also, which we haven't discussed it yet. Don't worry about it. We are going to learn it very soon. And you can copy permissions from existing users. If you have already created a user and you wanted to have the same permissions or lookalike permissions of that particular user, you can give it from copy permissions from existing user. Or you can also go with attaching existing policies directly. So Amazon has made your life easier by giving some default permissions which you can use it based on your requirement. So now I am looking for some admin. I will click on this one and I'll go to administrative access. You can click on this and you can see what is the access level which we have given in this, right? So let me just open that. You can see there is a JSON. If I click on the JSON, you will see the policy here itself directly. So you can see the version. This is the version, and in the statement what you have given is effect allow. What you want to allow, you have given all. Action all. Star is nothing but a wildcard which says all. And resource all. So all the resources can be accessed by you. All the actions can be performed on it, and it is a complete allow access to you. So by default, if you are not giving any permissions also, the by default permission which is given to IAM user is all access. So you have to specifically mention which services you want to give as allow. And one more very important thing here is deny will take precedence over allow access. So deny is very powerful, and if you are using deny and allow both, then definitely deny is going to take more precedence over allow. So that is very important thing. This is a sample JSON. It looks very in simple language, simple English. It can be easily understood, right? So now I'm selecting this administrative access. It has all the access apart from like similar to root account, but not that like we cannot see the billing and dashboard and all. We'll see that in later. Now I'll go to tags and I can add some tags. So these tags are like, you can give name of this tag or you can give anything. You can have it as a key pair. This is called a key value pair, right? Why it is required? So there will be thousands of people whom we are going to give access to, and we have to know for which purpose we are giving it. So it can be some admin activities. So that is the reason I have given admin, and I can mention something here. Otherwise I can do here like dev, QA. There are different staging options, right? So that those options also we can give it here to differentiate whether it is a dev resource or a QA resource or something else, right? So those things we can mention it here. For now I'll give name and then I'll give admin. Okay, I can add multiple, up to 50 tags I can add here completely. I'll go to review it, and then you can see all those which I have mentioned. I have mentioned it as admin user, and this is the user ID which I have to use for logging in, right? And then this is for administrative access, and then there is one option which we have missed out here is to, one second, let me go to the first page. Okay, sorry, okay, that's fine, we'll see that later. Now we'll go to tags, and then now we are at review. Everything is fine. I'll go and create a user here. Okay, so after you have created a user, there will be access ID and secret access key, which I'll show it right now, but again I'm going to delete this key because this is very important key which will allow you to log into your particular account. And I will download the CSV, which is important now because this is the file which will have all the credentials of mine, which I can use it to talk to different services, right? So this email I can send it to people. Suppose if I am the admin creating an account for other people, I can send an email, I can give the email ID to them, and this will be a secret email which is going to be sent to that particular user, and they can access to that particular account, right? Now I'll click on close. So now I have created an account called admin user. When I click on this, there is a user ARN number. This ARN number is very important. It is called as Amazon resource number. Okay, it is very important. Now go to groups. I don't have any groups here. We haven't discussed anything about groups as such. You can go and check it out. What are tags? Tag, we have it as name, and then it says admin. Next we have security credentials, right? So you can see there is a sign in link which I can use to directly go to that particular link and then open it. So I can directly copy it from here, and I can go to next URL, and I can type in that, and I can log into this particular user, right? We'll see how it goes. This is very important now. This is what I thought of telling you earlier. So here is a link from where you can log into your IAM, okay, and then different options are there. I have told you, like, access key can be seen, but the secret key cannot be seen. It can be seen only at the time of creation of that particular user. So in case you wanted to create another ID, you can create an access key by clicking on here, right? That way you can click it, you can see this security access key which we have seen at the time of creation of this thing, right? So for now I'll click on close. I'll make it as inactive. Okay, this I don't want, I'll delete it. And there are few other options which we are going to discuss it later. For now I don't need to worry about it much. Okay, so now let's move on to this particular link. I have copied that link. I'll open it in a new window. Now once I get that console page, I'll have to log in with admin user, which is my IAM user and not the root account. Root account, now I am going to forget it completely because I don't want to use it as such now. It is only used for getting billing related information and all the related things. But for now I am going to use this admin account which is having almost equal access as root account. I'm going to log into another IAM user, sign in as IAM user. Now I am going to give admin-user. This is the user ID which I have, and this is the password which I have asked. So now when I log in, there will be a sudden change. You can see here the name is something different, admin user @Hari AWS training, right? So in this you can understand clearly that this is an IAM user and not a root user. Root user was earlier showing as Hari Kishan earlier here, correct? And one thing, if you have observed, it is showing Mumbai location here when I'm trying to log into this particular thing. But if I go and open IAM, it will show global here. It will not show any particular location. Any idea why it shows global and not any other location? So the main thing here is all the other services are particular to that particular region only, but IAM is not particular to any region. This is globally given because it's a public cloud. Anyone can create account in any location. So this is a public, like it's a complete building which you have, and then you are using only first floor or second floor or whatever floors you are using it, and then you are asking for access to that particular thing. So access will be same to that particular building, right? That way you have to think, and that is how this shows as global. Now you cannot select any region also here. IBM doesn't require region selection. That is what you get to see here, right? Now you see there is one more option called as, all the options are tick marked. It defaultly we have created an user, IAM user. That is very important step. Permissions and all, we have to see whether our user has that access or not. So I'll go to this one. It is created today. I don't have any groups assigned to it. Okay, what are the other details we have? So password and also many things are given here, right? MFA and all. MFA not enabled. So what is MFA and why it should be enabled, right? So you would have seen in Gmail when you're trying to log into any other system or any other browser which is not registered earlier, you would be getting a two-factor authentication on your mobile saying that confirm whether it is you who is logging into this particular browser at this particular time, right? When you click on yes, then only you will be proceeding further with that particular account. Though you know the password, you will still not be able to log into that particular email ID, just because you have set up a two-step verification process. The similar way it works for IAM as well, right? So IAM also, to make it more secured, we'll have to enable an important thing called as MFA, which is multi-factor authentication, right? So how to set up a multi-factor authentication for this? I can go and click on manage MFA, and then there are different ways to do it. Okay, you can download an application called as Google Authenticator, from where you can configure your device with this particular IAM user, and then you can set up these credentials properly. I'll go to dashboard once again. I'll go to users and click on admin users, right? Now you can see in the permissions there is one policy which is applied, which is administrative access, right? And then we have groups. We don't have any groups here because we haven't created any group as such right now. There are different tags which you have seen. Security credentials also we have seen, right? Then here in the security credentials, we have seen that MFA is not managed yet, right? Not assigned yet. I'll go to manage MFA, click on this, and then there are different options to do it. One is like authenticator app installed on your mobile device or computer, right? So what I'll do, I'll click on this and go for continue. Now I'll have to download an application called as Google Authenticator, and then when I click on show QR code, this is the QR code which is shown. I'll have to use my Google Authenticator on my phone to scan this particular thing, and then it will ask for 2 OTPs which will be generated in the Google Authenticator app. You can use that first key which will be there for 1 minute active, and then you will get one more after 1 minute. That your OTP also you should enter, and then it will be configured. That way, whenever you want to log into this particular IAM user, after giving the credentials, it will ask you for the MFA code. So that code you'll get it on Google Authenticator app. You can open that app and see what is the code written out there. Then you can enter that particular code and enter into your account. So this is how we can have multi-level security here, right? I'm not doing it right now, but this is very important step for every user has to be created. Okay, this is for my account, so I am not doing it anything right now. Okay, so I hope it is very clear about what is user and what are the policies we are going to give, or how should be your password guidelines while giving a password, right? So all those things we have to take care here, right? I hope the session on users is very clear. Thank you and see you in the next session.